Hello YouTube people, this is Corrupt Reverend, and you are watching part 3 of Corrupt Reverend's Beginner's Guide to Making a D&D Adventure and Setting. To those who have been watching through part 1 and 2, welcome back. To new people, hello, and welcome. Also to new people, it might make sense if you go back and watch part 1 and 2, because we might, actually, you know what, it probably wouldn't even matter, because I don't, do what you want. I don't care. So, hi guys. How are you doing tonight? I am doing very well. Thanks for asking. So, let's just jump right in. First of all, sorry for the little hiatus. I started off like day after day, and I felt like I had a good bit of steam going behind my videos, and then I'm starting my own business, so I kind of had to concentrate on that for a few days. So, no videos for a little bit, but I will, going forward, try and at least have a video every other day, just to keep the ball rolling. And also, I think that might help me get through this even faster, because I am setting a deadline for myself, which is another great tip for doing anything, especially creative, because a lot of times creativity, you can feel like you're, I don't know, some people, deadlines kill creativity, so I don't know. Try it out. It might help you. It helps me for, at least with music stuff, if I'm working on a piece or something and I set a deadline for myself, it usually helps me, and I end up happier with the end product. So, okay. Also, one more bit of housekeeping information. I have been meaning to add a video, like actual video, not just screen cap. This is the third video of just screen capture, and like I said in the last one, I try and keep it interesting. Oh my god, squares! But there's only so much you can do with screen capture. So I was planning on having a camera set up and superimposing, the feed from the camera right here, so that you can have an itty bitty face talking to your normal sized face while you watch these videos. And I don't really know if that would be helpful at all, but the problem is I have multiple cameras, but none of them seem to work as a webcam. I have a webcam in my laptop, but I have Linux on my laptop, so, and which wouldn't be a problem, except Emma Personal Wiki, the program I use here, I cannot get it to work on Linux to save my life. So I don't know, I might have a friend check it out. He's like a proper programmer, sciencey dude, and he might be able to get it working, but I cannot get it working. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you like to have a itty bitty face talking to your normal sized face, or do you not really care? Let me know. It will change how I decide to go forward. All that out of the way, let's jump right in. Last time we left off, we had finished up more or less fleshing out Harborside, the lower district of Takmir, which is a town in Dorum Tel. For those new people, this is Dorum Tel. It's an island. And we had just finished more or less fleshing it out, and it leaves a lot to the imagination, because really this wiki and all this preparation is exactly that. It's just preparation for myself. So it's like notes. It's references for me. So if a player asks me about something, or asks an NPC about something, and I decide that NPC knows something, I have a reference right here that's very easy to access. So there's not a whole lot about Harborside. Those aren't even really paragraphs. Those are like sentences with page breaks between, because why not? But that's pretty much. I'm happy with that, and I'll probably flesh it out even more with like specific businesses and stuff as I later on. Once I decide more about the actual story and any quests and the proper adventure, not just the setting. So, yes. I'm calling this done for now, and we're now on to Girdleshire. Unfortunately, I think it was the last video, I recorded the entire video and then realized that my mic was muted. This time I recorded, about 15 minutes of video and realized that I didn't press record. Yeah. So, I had, the intention of this video was to, like, do it all on the fly and show you, like, the creative process. I hate it when people say, watch my creative process, because it makes it sound like it's something special, but it's not special. It's just ramblings of silly guy that can rarely sleep at night. So, what I had gotten before I realized that I had not pressed record was I started sort of brainstorming for Girdleshire. And this is how I kind of start out for each of these sections, is I just make bullet points here. And with very, very vague things. So I decided that the wall was built in the 5th century of the Second Age as an extension to the original Takmir fortalice. Fortalice, a small fort. I I didn't want to call it a fort, and it seemed too small for a fortress, so I googled it, and this is a word, and I like it. Sounds fancy, like pinky out fancy. So originally, when the wall was built, it was just an extension of this building right here. And I decided that this is where sort of like the city's enforcers, like their headquarters, maybe living quarters and training and stuff like that. That's what this is. So originally it was just this building and then all the businesses and residents and stuff, and then they decided to wall in all the businesses in the beginning of the 5th century of the Second Age. Then, after that, we already kind of established that since Harborside is where most of the heavy industry and the working class lives, well, obviously, Girdleshire is going to be where the businesses and the upper class live. So, I mentioned that in the bullet point, composed primarily of Takmir's businesses and the residents of the upper class. And I also, decided that the richies, the upper class folk, the pinky out type, would all live more or less up here. And then also there would be like business owners that probably live like upstairs or in a back room and stuff inside their businesses, but like the hoity-toity folks of Takmir, they live right up in here. And I'm also going to have like a, I don't know. I was kind of thinking about having like a royal residence for like when royalty is visiting. But, ooh, actually, you know what? Instead of that, I am going to also put in that northeast corner the council building. What's that name for a council building? I feel so dumb when I like can't think of these words. Name of building where council. That's not how you spell council. Soul. No. IL. Ah! Meets. City council. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Concilium? Ooh. That is a good word. Is that an actual word? Concilium. Wikipedia. Concilium. Concilia, no. Council of European Union, or Concilium, institution bicameral legislature of the European Union. Concilium de Emendanda Ecclesia, commissioned by blah 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 blah. Conciliar Constitution. Concilium House, an office complex in the Scarborough district of blah. It sounds like where's I need dictionary. There we know. Definition. Concilium, or dies concilii. Practice a time allowed. No, I don't think that's the one I want. There's a Wiktionary. The Latin word concilium. Word hippo? This is, that doesn't look useful. Latin dictionary. Here we go. State council, consultation. Okay, so I don't think that's the word for an actual building. Seat of local government. City Hall, Town Civic Center. Guild Hall. No. Rat House? Or more rarely, a municipal chief administrative building. Nomenclature. Yes, here we go. Town Hall. Generally this case in the United Kingdom. English speakers. Municipality of city status. Brisbane. I'm sure this is like very fun to watch, but this is kind of what I go through when I'm looking, because I really want to think of a word here. Guildhall. Guildhall makes me think of something else, even though like that seems to be the correct term, but I really like concilium, even though I know it's not right. You know what? I'm making this world. Concilium means the place where the council meets in my world, because that is just such a cool word. Though it doesn't sound very dwarvish. Though, by the time it was created, Takmir would have been multicultural. And I always thought of like elven culture to be kind of like fetishized, like American Francophiles and stuff like that back in the 1800s and whatnot. So yeah, yes, concilium. I'm sticking to it. Takmir concilium. This is a fun word. I can't remember if there were 2 L's or 1 L. Whatever, I can fix it later. Located in northeast corner. And we're going to need to think of a name for that northeast corner. I guess we don't really need to, but that's not even what I wanted to open. Here we go. Let's look at the map again. Northeast corner. Something district. The something like that exudes the fact that like rich bastards live there. The regality, no. I want to try and not use too many silly words, but I'll just make a note that I want to think of a term for that. Think of name for northeast corner of Girdleshire. There we go. I misspelt a word I made up. Girdleshire. Nope, did it again. Girdleshire. Girdles. Oh, I already did the shire. There we go. Bam. What else? What else can we think of about this? Obviously, I've got like a little like not really coliseum, like an amphitheater here. Do I want to think of anything about that? I don't think I really need to think about anything for the amphitheater. It's an amphitheater. There's no lore that's needed for that. There's the northwestern gate. I think I'll just call that the northern gate, because it's the only gate. So, why not? Oh, marketplace is right here. I'm wondering, because obviously this is the rough draft. I'm wondering if I should move this, like, when I say marketplace, I mean like open air market. Like blankets on the ground, little awnings and stuff like that. Like flea market. Think like flea market. That's sort of marketplace. Whereas over here these are all buildings with businesses, so it's obviously like this is a big marketplace. But this is when I like Aladdin, when Jasmine wants to go and see the marketplace. So that's the marketplace. But I might move it. I'm wondering if it might make more sense to have the marketplace. Ooh, I think I might put the marketplace right here. Yeah, that would be perfect, because up here is going to be farmland. So having the marketplace near the northern gate so that farmers can bring in their foods, and then it would be more central and the road would lead straight to it. And you go by all the businesses. Yeah. Ooh, but I was also... I forgot about that. Okay. I realize at this point it sounds like you guys are just eavesdropping on half of the conversation I'm having with myself, which is actually kind of really all these videos are. But I was thinking about actually having the concilium, before I had decided to call it a concilium, over here, so that basically, like, the general idea of like the very beginning of the campaign will be the player characters arrive on ship, obviously, and they see that there's not much commerce going. Like the captain is originally from here. I think I'm going to do that. These are all just super, like, probably get thrown out, but working theory going on. And the plan was to just stop by here, pick up a shipment, and then go to the mainland. But since they're not doing exports right now, which, that's something I think I forgot to mention in the last video. I think I cut off the lore a little bit early. Basically, after the second siege happened, and they sealed up the thing, the Council of Narinth, which meets at the Concilium, suspended wholesale trade in an attempt to sort of like stretch out what they had. And this caused a lot of people to just say, F this and leave. So it's not like a ghost town necessarily, but there's definitely less going on, and people are looking a little bit hungry. Not hungry as in like for food, but hungry as in like for business. So yeah, they're not doing any exports. So when the players get there, expecting to just like have a, collect some supplies and then take off, they'll find that they're stuck, basically, because the captain is from this place and from Takmir. And so when he sees the state of the city and finds out everything that's going on, he's just like, no, I'm staying here and going to see this through, because he can't continue doing his business. He can't, because he can't ship anything out, so he's kind of stuck. So that will make the players kind of stuck. And I'm hoping, let me know, what do you think? Do you think that's too railroady to have basically not shipwreck, but kind of maroon the players on the island? Because I wanted to give them a reason for staying here and exploring the island, rather than just like, okay, yeah, whatever, we'll leave, we'll steal a ship. Which they still may try and steal a ship, and if they actually figure out a good way to steal a ship, I will let them. I will let this entire island, not exist anymore in the world, as far as they're concerned. I would be kind of bummed, but my players are kind of okay about, or some of them are pretty good at like following the hint of like, oh, this is probably what's supposed to be going on, and just I think just generally just not being buttholes and like purposely going off track just to piss me off, or not piss me off, but to see my mental flexibility. Anyway, fuck, how did I even get here from there? Um, I was saying, oh, right. So the players get here, and I was thinking about putting the concilium up in this corner and maybe moving the gate over here. That way, they have a reason. Like, I figure they'll get here, they won't know what's going on. They'll find out what's going on. Somebody will suggest to them that they go and talk to the council of Nar, who is at the concilium. I love that word, even though it's probably I know I'm using it wrong, but it's just so fun to say. Anyway, I was thinking about putting the concilium here so that they would walk straight through, a good chunk of this. Whereas if I put it over here, they could pretty much bypass the majority, but they'll still see quite a bit. So yeah, screw it. I'll leave it where it is. Where was I before I got on that little rant? I don't know. Crap. Oh, I was thinking about other things that were in there, and whatever. I'll just start in a new place. Edit again. Girdleshire. I gotta think of a name for that. Concilium, located in northeast corner. Not in corner area. I don't want to like butt it up against the wall because that seems kind of like a weakness. Like breach that wall and you can just kill the entire council. Not that breaching a wall would be very easy because that wall is actually on a basically a sea cliff right there. So, and I've started drawing the next map for this. I made it a bit bigger so that I can fit the whole dang thing in there, and I've been thinking on placement for buildings and stuff. But anyways, what have we got so far again? Gosh, I'm so spacey today. That's not what I want to open. I want to open this. There we go. Think of a name for the northeast corner of Girdleshire. Richie's living in the northeast corner. Takmir. Concilium. I feel like there should be two L's in there, but I can't remember if there were. I already decided I'll deal with that later. Wall built beginning in the 5th century. We should think of some names for some things, right? Like, I'm thinking this should have, you know what? No, that'll be the Trader's Walk too, because I've decided I'm going to move the marketplace right where this amphitheater is, because I really like that idea of like the farmers coming in, they don't have to filter through the city, just right in there. So that will be the Trader's Walk, and I'm not going to worry about the other street names right now. I will think of them eventually, but so that goes there. That would mean this thing, the amphitheater. Should I move it by the Richies, or should I move it over by the Fortalis? Fortaliki. I don't know. It seems like that might be like a more high society sort of thing. And also, that would probably be a good place for Kol Narinth, which is the king, to address people. So I might want to have that closer to the concilium. Though if the king is presenting to everybody, he might want to be closer to all the enforcers and such. No, but if he was talking, they'd send a contingent out anyway. So yeah, I'm going to put that over like right here, I think, and the marketplace right there. So marketplace, just inside north gate, and then amphitheater. Is it ER or RE? Whatever. Just outside Northeast District. I guess I could just call it the Northeast District. That seems just blah. That would be more memorable. The players don't have to remember where, you know, the Girdleberg is. They just have it written down Northeast District. Okay, it's in the Northeast. So I think I might like that. Yeah. Shoo. We've got the marketplace, we got the amphitheater, we've got the fortalice. I've got to look up how to say that. The dictionary thingy that I found it on, it has like the pronunciation thing, but I never learned how to read that. Is that something like kids learn in school? How to read like the weird Latin letters that tell you how to pronounce something? I never learned that. So I mispronounce lots of words. Whatever. What else have we got here? Man, this would be actually really helpful. I think this would be helpful to stream, because sometimes I do get a little bit stuck, and normally it's not an issue, but when I'm recording it, I feel like I need to keep going. Well, how about this? How about we take a break from this, and I'll show you a little something, because like I said in the first video, I generally not super linear in my planning and thinking. Like, the way I'm laying out this video is rather linear, but I'm doing that to hopefully benefit other people, to try and also try and keep on track and stuff for viewers. But I do jump around a little bit, and I will show a little bit about that. So while I was watching one of Dawnforge Cast's videos, he has a playlist of like 10 favorite or most iconic or something monsters of D&D, and he mentioned this one monster that I just fell in love with. It's called the Murska. I will throw up a picture of it for you right here. This is the Murska. Isn't that just freaking cool? It's a beetle that shapeshifts, sort of, into its last meal. So this one ate a sheep. So it's like a horrible abomination of a sheep. And I love this concept, but it's a 2nd edition monster from AD&D. And there's, as far as I could tell, that nobody had made a conversion for it. But I really wanted this guy. I want it in my forest so bad. So I ended up looking it up. And first of all, I had a problem because Dawnforge Cast. God, what is his name? I'm terrible with names. I can't remember his name. Andrew? Was it Andrew? I don't know. He spelt it wrong. He spelled it with an E. It's Murska. And so the first thing I did was I had to look up more information on it. And I eventually found this website, lomian.de. And it has some of the old school lore on it. So I found this, and I'm like, yes, I've got a source. I can do something with this. But then I started looking through some of its stats, and it has like armor class 2. I'm like, wait, that can't be right. Armor class 2? And then there's a Thaco number, and um, uh, what else is weird in here? Well, nothing up there, but then I'll get to it. So yeah, obviously this wasn't going to be as simple as I thought it would be. So I kind of looked up Thaco, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to deal with anything about that. That's just, it was super confusing. And this is going to be my first sort of like homebrew creature, right? Even though it's not really homebrew, it's from something else, but you know, adaptation. So I went through the DM's guide, and they had a lot of suggestions, and the main suggestion, or one of the suggestions that I latched onto, was just the concept of taking a 5th edition monster and basically reskinning it to be a Murska. So that's the route that I ended up taking, and there are some things in here that still didn't quite work out. Like, where is it? It's somewhere in here. So the Murska can like grab you in its mandibles and hold you there, and then it can chew on you with like crazy teeth inside, which is just creepy and awesome. But part of that is in order to get out. Oh, where is it? No, the victim. Basically, it talks about in order to get out of its jaws, you have to make a door check. I'm like, what on earth is a door check? Apparently, that was a thing in old school D&D. There were some things that wouldn't straight up cross over, so I had to get a little bit creative. First thing I did was I found this program. What's it called? Wait for it to open. Here we go. D&D Monster Maker version 5.3.1. This is a really cool little program. So it basically lets you create stat blocks for anything. So let's call this monster Corrupt Reverend. There we go. That's the name. And gender is neutral. No. I am a boy, and I am unique. I am a snowflake. Size, medium, because I am a human. Last time I checked. Type, humanoid. What's this one? Ah, right there, human. Alignment, I will be true neutral. Armor class, blah blah blah. It can generate hit points. And yeah, okay. Anyway, I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but I just wanted to put some information in so I could hit preview and see. There you go. And you can add abilities. Make video. 3,000 points psionic damage. There we go. And it'll add that too. You know. So that was the first thing I needed to do, was find something to create a stat block, because like with the wiki, I like to be organized, but in a weird sort of way. So I found this program, and it works wonderfully. And I decided to adapt the Ankeg. I think that, I don't know how to say it. Ankheg. It's another bug monster that exists in 5th edition, and it was close enough to where like it works all right. And this is what I got. So I used all the stats for the Ankheg, or however you say it, and then I just plugged in the other information for the Murska. So I had to come up with names and kind of word it and tweak it a little bit. So digested disguise. Constantly growing and shedding old skin, the Murska assumes a grotesque parody of the form of its last meal. If a sentient race is devoured, the Murska will make sounds reminiscent of the creature's native language, though garbled and nonsensical. So I deviated a bit on the 2nd edition version of the Murska on that, because in the 2nd edition version, it could actually become intelligent and speak if it ate an intelligent race. And then like it also goes into the idea that sometimes they'll actually get a craving for intelligence, and they'll seek out intelligent races to eat, because without eating an intelligent race, it's just a bug. Literally, like it has no sense beyond must eat and breed, I would imagine. So that's pretty cool, and I might bring that in if the characters ever go to where this creature actually came from. But for these ones, I decided like no, and this isn't in the stat block or anything. But I'm thinking maybe for them to gain actual intelligence, maybe they have to eat quite a few intelligent creatures, maybe even quite a few intelligent creatures of the same sort, to really understand and actually be able to talk. So, and I just like the idea of like the garbled, nonsensical speech. Like, imagine going through a dark forest and you hear something that sounds like English, right? Like, if you can look up on YouTube videos of people who don't speak English imitating English. And it's weird because it kind of sounds like English, but it's completely nonsense. But they take like the common sounds and string them in. It's like it's just like English speaking people imitating Chinese or German and stuff like that. So I just like the idea of like you hear it far off and you're like, oh, that sounds like a person. So you start walking towards it and you get closer and it just sounds like complete gibberish, complete nonsense. It gives this suspense to the lead up to the encounter that I really like. So that's what is that? That's digested disguise. Then another ability is terrifying appearance. Any target that is the same race or species as the Murska's last meal must make a Constitution saving throw with a DC of 13, or become frightened. So that's another thing I thought of, is like you hear something that sounds like your language and you go and seek it out and it starts sounding really weird and complete nonsense, and then you find the source of it and it's this horribly grotesque parody of one of your kin. Like imagine like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly. Like that. Like I figure that could really, that could shake someone up. So that's terrifying appearance. And then pack tactics. The Murska has advantage on an attack roll against a creature if at least one of the Murska's allies is within 5 feet of the creature and the ally isn't incapacitated. So that's basically sort of what's it called? Brain fart. I can't remember it. It's when one person is on either side of the enemy flanking. That's like flanking rules, but this creature can do it even when it's not a proper flanking, just when like another creature is next to it, like even if they're at like a 45 degree from each other. Anywho, and that's just because the Murska was written as a pack. man, I'm just spacing out on this. A pack hunter. So then actions, I added a horn attack. That wasn't, they didn't mention anything about the horn, but I like that idea, using that big horn on the front of its face to skewer people. And I wanted that to be kind of a lower damage thing, so I ended up doing 1d6 and +2 to hit. Then the bite is +5 to hit, reach 5 feet. Hit is 2d6 +3 slashing damage. And the target, if the target is large or smaller creature, it is grappled. To escape the grapple, the target must make a strength save of 13. And then gnaw. While the target is grappled, the Murska may spend an action to gnaw on the target for 1d8 +3. And the neat thing about that attack is that it doesn't have to roll to do it. If it has like a player in its mouth, it can just choose to gnaw. But that will use its action for the turn, so it might not always be the best thing. And then if the Murska escapes battle with a grappled target, it will continue to gnaw even after the target is unconscious until the target is consumed. So it's pretty important that you don't let them run off with your comrades, because they're going to be taking damage after they go unconscious, and we know what that means. Proper death. So that was my first foray into making a homebrewed creature, and I think it went all right. And then I also I went ahead and plugged in the stats for a spectator, because I have an idea for a place for a spectator to be in this adventure. And I didn't do any of this. I just plugged it into that program, so I have a nice little stat block that I can insert. And why am I even doing? I totally could have just pulled this up. Go back, enemies, Murska, bam. So yeah, and so for these enemies I entered them into the wiki, so they're easy to bring up. And for the encounters, I'll have just clickable thingies, and I'll actually probably print off the stat block so I don't have to be clicking back and forth if there's more than just Murska in an encounter. So that's a little side thingy I decided to do. Now back to Takmir. I don't know. I think we're pretty good. We got wall when the wall was built. So how about we try and put this into coherent sentences. The Girdle Shire comprises... That's not how you spell comprises, I don't think. Oh well, I'll fix it later. The walled portion of Takmir. Composed primarily by, no, it's of, and there's only one L in primarily, I'm pretty sure. Primarily of, man, I wish this program had spell check. Businesses. Ooh, I think I spelled business wrong in another place. Oh well, that's just anyway. And the residences. It's just residences. I think it's is of the upper class. Girdleshire also holds the Takmir Concilium, and I never thought of a name for... Actually, you know what? I don't like that, because I want to mention that the Concilium is within the Northeast District. I don't like how that's worded. Let's see here. You know what? I think I'll go ahead and write this after, because this isn't really that important for. I don't know. You can comment and tell me if you would prefer to watch me think out how to word these things. But like I said, this is really just sentences for reference for myself, and I could actually just have bullet point lists like this, but I like to have this because for some reason this when it's put into sentences, it sticks in my head better. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and leave this video at this with our little list of things, and I will write out the description of Girdleshire next, or off camera, not even camera. What do I even call this? Outside of these little broadcasts. It's not even a broadcast. Well, I guess it is rebroadcasted. Whatever. I'm going to write this on my own, and unless you guys decide you want to listen to me struggle with the English language, and then I'll be happy to put this together in the videos next time. So let me know in the comments if that's something you want to see or listen to, I suppose. And also let me know if you would prefer me to set up a camera so that there's a little itty bitty face tucked in your normal face while you're listening to this. So until next time, thanks again for watching and or listening, and I'll catch you next time. Take it easy.